Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for an incredible session of the Daily African Proverbs. I am so grateful to be here with you all. I am in Seattle, Washington, and my name is Simon Javan Okelo. I am the host of the African Father in America podcast. Our show today and every morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is the Daily African Proverbs. The Daily African Proverbs is where we bring new African proverbs every single day, and we invite different kinds of guests. We invite artists, we invite business owners, innovators, poets, and today I have a really special guest coming all the way from Nairobi. I'm going to introduce him in a moment, but I want you to settle in if you're joining us on Clubhouse, and if you are joining us on YouTube, thank you. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube, and remember to ping in 3 to 5 people to join us for today's conversation if you are on Clubhouse. I am just setting up a few things here before we get started with today's amazing conversation. I do want to quickly introduce my guest here today. My guest is a really special brother, Nafsiuru. Nafsiuru is an incredible creative arts practitioner, a poet, a hip-hop artist, an activist. Nafsi, go ahead and just say anything to introduce yourself before we continue with our conversation today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on this platform. I'm a big fan of the African Proverbs. My name is Nafsi Huru, Swahili hip-hop artist, graphic designer, DJ. I wear many shoes in the art space. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's who I am.
Thank you. I love it, and I want to welcome our friends like Debbie and Bibi and Rushi, who is joining us for today's conversation, and brother and Crystal and Munira and DJ. Thank you all for being here with us. And also on YouTube, we have a community of people who have joined us. We truly appreciate it. As I was hinting earlier, our proverb today is from Kenya, and it says that because a man has injured your goat, you do not go out and kill his bull. Because a man has injured your goat, do not go out and kill his bull. What does this proverb mean to you? When you hear this proverb, what is it that comes to your mind? That's really the center of our conversation today, understanding what our ancestors were saying when they wrote this proverb. But also, this is a proverb that is very similar to the other saying that don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger is an advice that all of us get all the time. Maybe your child, Nafsi and I are also fathers. Maybe your son or daughter has been sent to tell you to go and do something, but you're in the middle of something else. If you're wise and grounded, instead of punishing or saying something unnecessary to the person who came to get you, you find a different way of approaching it. And so, Nafsi, if you have to be with the little one, it's good. You can just have them if you're comfortable with it. But no worries. So as you are watching this session today, as you're listening to this session today, I just want you to think about this proverb, but also think about the following 3 takeaways before I jump into the conversation with our special guest today. the first takeaway is that understand where your anger comes from. Where is your anger coming from? Number two, understand that you need to take a step back and assess the situation before reacting. Sometime you're in the middle of as an artist, you're in the middle of creating something, and then you're suddenly needed to go and do something that you really didn't want to be doing. How do you react? As a business person, if you are focused on adding more customers, and then suddenly your current customers are facing challenges that you have to address, so you can't add any more work into your already work situation that is presenting a lot of pressure. What do you do? So this proverb speaks to taking a step back and assessing the situation before reacting, and then finally express your anger in a healthy way. What are some healthy ways that you can still express your frustration and your anger without going out and in a situation where somebody just injured your goat? Don't go out and kill their bull. So today's guest, as I was saying earlier, is Nafsi Huru, who is an incredible artist. Nafsi Huru has actually performed at Madaraka Festival, so that's one of the questions I'm going to ask you to respond to. How was your experience performing at Madaraka? That's a question I need you to respond to. I didn't add it to our prep notes, but it's all good. But also we are going to talk about what this proverb means to Nafsi, what a childhood story that inspires Nafsi Huru today as an artist, as a father, as a published writer. Then we are also going to talk about some of your biggest accomplishment to date, again as an artist, writer, poet and creator. And then we are going to listen to our audience members for a while, and then we are going to ask you to just reflect on everything that our audience members are going to share with us today. So with that, I want to welcome you, my brother Nafsi. Just briefly share with us, when you hear this proverb from Kenya, the proverb itself says that because a man has injured your goat, do not go out and kill his bull. What comes to your mind when you hear this, brother Nafsi?
Yeah, thank you very much. From my translation is that, like you said earlier, anger management, how to manage your anger. So you should not make irrational decisions when you have temper, or you should not pay evil with evil, because it also makes you to be evil as the guy that did the wrong to you. So for me, I think having the self-control, when someone does wrong to you, you first take time to analyze the situation and find an amicable way to get a solution to whatever it is that is bringing the fuss. I might say that way.
Yeah.
Coming from my experience, I remember I had a very traumatic childhood. There's a neighbor of ours who had a house help. He was a man, so he was doing the gardening and the house help as well. So he had his bicycle, and one day some thugs stole the bike from him, and he fought them and he got away with the knife. So after getting away with the knife, he went to the police and reported. He was told he should find them for the police and let them know. So what this guy did, he found one of these guys, and funny enough, me and my little brother, I was around 7, and my little brother was around 5. So we were playing in the neighborhood, and then we caught a glimpse of this guy chasing one of the thugs who stole from him. So we went after them, seeing what they were doing. And then what this guy did to the thug was so merciless. He cut him into pieces from top to bottom. The whole body was cut, slicing him, and the guy defecated on himself. And for me, it was a very traumatic thing to see as a child. And I think the guy could have handled it better. When it came to reason, I see he could have handled that thing, the whole situation, in an easier way. But it shows violence. and in the long run, he's the one who went to prison for attempted murder. So I think the proverb relates a lot to that scenario, because if he didn't slaughter the bull, he wouldn't be having the repercussions that he was facing. So if he would have handled it differently, maybe the the whole situation would have been understand. I mean, it will be better. It will be a better situation, not that no bloodshed. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that was serious. That was so serious. I remember
Yeah,
seeing similar things, but not face to face. Growing up in Manyata, sometime on the way to school, you'd find a thief that had been killed by a mob. But seeing
yeah,
what you saw must have been extremely traumatizing. You can't take that out of your memory forever.
yeah. It was. My brother used to have sleepless nights. He used to wake up at night, screaming. I think it didn't have that much impact on me, but it changed my character, in the sense that when someone aggravates me to some extent, I hold back, and I always choose to be like the bigger, not bigger, to accept to be shown weakness, and I just move on, because I see there's no need to aggravate any situation beyond the, because I have the memories of what happened, and I feel like, anything can escalate in a minute to become something different.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just teaches you how delicate and fragile life is, and how you can't even trust people, because you don't know how angry people you're dealing with in the day to day could be. So the story
yeah,
you shared
true.
with us, and this proverb really also is a warning to us who might think that we have not hurt anybody, we have not stepped on anybody's toes, but somebody that we are dealing with might be triggered by something little, and we could easily become a victim of their anger. So
Yeah,
so much to say about your response. But I want to welcome every person who has joined us, every beautiful soul who has joined us for today's session here on Clubhouse and also on YouTube. I truly appreciate you. My special guest is Nafsi Huru, who is really talented, one of the few remaining authentic hip hop artists in Kenya who do their music in Kiswahili, in the coastal Kiswahili, hip hop style, which is really, really unique. And I want to just continue on with my conversation here with Nafsi, but I want to ask your audience members to take a minute and ping in 3 to 5 people if you're on Clubhouse. Share the link for this conversation. Just take a minute and do that. And I also want to do that actually to help just build the audience in the Clubhouse room. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe to the channel and share the link to this conversation with your friends and community. So Nafsi, I want us to talk a little bit about your music, your accomplishment as an artist, as a poet, as a writer. You're published in one of the local dailies in Kenya. You have a show. I think you have a radio show at the moment. You have an album that recently was released. I want you to
I've not
first.
released the album yet.
Oh, not yet. Then you have to tell us
It's
about
still in
it.
the making.
You have to tell us about it. But really, just quickly start with the paint for people. Quite a few people, you will realize later on when our audience members are speaking, they've never been to Kenya. People are watching this show and listening to this show. So paint for them the image of the music scene in Kenya, but also the hip hop. I feel that your type of hip hop is becoming mainstream now, but it was underground hip hop for a long time. So just paint a picture briefly and then go into, when you look at your career as a published writer, as as a media creator, as an activist, as a poet, as a hip hop artist, as a father as well.
Yeah.
What is it that makes you proud? What is it that makes you proud?
Personally, when I make art that touches people's souls and has positive impact to the community, that's what satisfies me. So that was the initial reason for me getting into art, because I was inspired by Ukoflani, and as you know, Ukoflani are the pioneers of like the hip hop movement in Kenya, and they were from my hood. So growing up, I used to watch them do their things, making moves, and I got close to them until I was affiliated to Ukoflani as a movement. So the anchor behind Ukoflani's music was social justice. So my music also has embodies that kind of social justice. Whenever I write, I always think about the next person. How, how can I create positive impact to their lives and whatever it is they are doing, or provide some guidance to those who are not in touch with maybe their parents, or they don't have a guide. So you can find some guidance through the music that we make, because we speak about life and everything about life. So it's like real life documentarian. That's what I consider myself to be doing. So I capture emotions through my music. I capture feelings. I see things. I try to better things that are happening, like you see political situation in the country. We talk about these things and try to tell people. You see, 2007 we had violence, post-election violence. This year we don't want the same thing. So I take the responsibility as an artist to be the voice, to air this kind of opinions, so that the public can see and learn and see how they can advance, and we grow together positively. Talking about being published, I run my article on. It's like a page. It's a full page on People's Daily newspaper in Kenya, and it's in Sheng. Sheng is like slang in Swahili. So Sheng is a fusion of English and the local dialects in the streets, what people talk. And this is also an element of hip hop, because street language is also one of the core elements. So uh, in the magazine, I usually promote underground artists or upcoming artists who are not given the same space on mainstream media. So I give them the opportunity. I profile them, and I also have a chat where we rank the 10 new songs out every week for from the Kenyan hip hop scene. So that's my contribution to the general movement. Radio, I have the radio show as well. I'm doing the same thing. So it's like the what I'm doing on newspaper, we're doing it on radio now. So every Thursday we have the hookup show, and it's online, so you can stream from wherever you are in the world, from 4 to 6 p.m. in Kenya. I don't know what time it is there in the States, but that's the arrangement. And my album. So my album is called Uhuru wa Nafsi. My name Nafsi Huru translates to free soul or free spirit. So the album is Uhuru wa Nafsi, freedom of the soul, and it embodies the title in the sense that the music inside there is about things that I find dear to me and that I think are also dear to everyone else. Like I have a song about called Nafasi Yako, about your position in my life. I'm saying like the part you play in my life is so important. So I'm talking about my parents, my brothers and friends, and also my children and their children in the future. So I think everyone embodies that kind of feeling. You also feel like you appreciate your parents, you appreciate. So it's a song you can play for everyone else. I also have a song on mental health called Lost. So Lost is it's like self-reflection. I'm thinking about the things that are not going on right in my life, and I'm trying to speak. I'm expressing myself in that song saying my troubles and worries. And I think a lot of people, the few people that have heard the song, are can really relate to it and think that it's something that will be impactful to the generations. A while back, we had a music therapy session with a group called Ubuntu Africa. So Ubuntu, they were teaching us about music for mental health. As an artist, I have the power to communicate my troubles. It will impact someone else who is in a similar position or even worse, to feel open up and speak, or not even speaking, they can find solace in themselves and find a solution to whatever it is that they are going through. So the album is designed in, like, I capture different emotions. There's also happiness, there is sadness, there is just showcasing my skills to some extent. There's a song like that. So I try to bring up something different, something unique, and it has a different sound. I call it Swazi pop because it's a fusion of hip hop. I fuse with some jazz. So I have like the legend Juma Tutu playing some saxophone there. I have like my friend Olabode Odo on the trumpet. So they're bringing in the jazz element to the music. I also have some guitarists bringing in the African guitar strings type of sound. So it's something different. I want to present to the world as my contribution to the music scene.
Thank you,
Children are
thank you.
making noise.
Yeah, it's fine, man. That's why this podcast is called African Father in America, because of exactly that. So children are always welcome,
African father in Africa.
Yeah, African Father in Africa right there. Yeah, mambo,
Yeah.
habari yako? Unaitwa nani?
Shama mambo.
Sasa
Mambo.
ni aje?
Her name is Heri Huru.
Heri Huru. Hey, that's a nice name, man. Yeah, thank you for being here, my brother, and thank you to everyone who is joining us on YouTube and on Clubhouse. My special guest is Nafsi Uru, a truly gifted, artist, a published writer, radio host, an activist, a poet, and a father. Nafsi has been a great friend of mine. Actually, Nafsi, let's talk about Madaraka Festival. You performed at Madaraka Festival 2019 in Kenya, and we are doing it again this year in Seattle. Talk about your experience and what people should expect from Madaraka this year, in your opinion.
I think Madaraka was one of the best festivals I've ever performed at, and it was a very nice experience by the lakeside. And I didn't think people in Kisumu would resonate to my music like that. So I got a lot of love from the fans in Kisumu, and I really loved it. I loved the people as well, the whole experience, the linking up with the different artists, the sessions we had discussing this and that. I really loved it. And in fact, I play the video for my son almost every day because he's also an aspiring artist at 3 years old. So he gets a lot of inspiration. He likes the performance and everything. I think you did a very great job, and I would like to congratulate you for that platform and also bringing it to Kenya and giving guys like me and the other artists the platform to showcase whatever we do. So I think much love to Madaraka Festival, One Vibe Africa, everyone involved. It's great. This year I would love to be part of the festival, but yeah, hopefully next year we'll see you again, man.
Yeah, next year we are hoping to bring it back to Kenya, and even though Madaraka is a Kenyan, event, it started in Seattle. So the original home of Madaraka Festival is Seattle. So we have to really grow it here and then bring it back to the continent. Hopefully after Kisumu, we can take it to other places around Africa too. But speak about the collaboration. Madaraka is really about collaboration. I feel that part of the work that we did Talk about the collaboration, in your opinion, behind the scene.
The EP. In fact, it was nice. We did the EP with Mazi from New York. We had Ben Sol. We had Miss Caron. So it was, and all the songs were so dope. Actually, all the songs were so dope. I really loved it. Uh, Especially One Rasta. I was featured on One Rasta, so I had the chance to work with one of my favorite legends, Nazizi, and she said like, "Yo, Nafsi, I want to get on a track with you."
Yeah.
And for me, it was a very big thing, and to date, I really appreciate that. So, and also the kids, we had the band, the One Vibe band. We just did rehearsals briefly, but the performance was beyond expectation. I think everything was dope. The producer as well. I didn't think we could have such a dope producer in Kisumu. All the time I assumed that Mazi came from New York with the beats, only to find out that the producer was making them in Kisumu. So it opened my eyes so that to see that there's a lot of potential that's not been tapped into within our borders. We can just give if people are given the opportunity, they can really do wonders. So that was one of the things that I really loved about the Madaraka Festival, and that's one of the things I really liked about the festival. The EP.
Yeah.
She's so
Thank you.
stubborn.
It's good. I go through that all the time, so it's fine. You can give her the headphones and take it back. Just find a way to navigate it. But she's more than welcome here. So to everyone who is joining us, I'm a father myself, and so this space is really family oriented. That's why we keep it safe. We keep it conscious, so that people can feel comfortable bringing their children whenever they need to. But we are here for the Daily African Proverbs, and we are discussing a proverb from Kenya, and our guest today is actually in Kenya, my brother Nafsi Huru, who is an incredibly gifted have you taught a yela? An incredibly gifted artist. And let's see, yela, let's see if she responds. Anyway, what's her name again, Nafsi? Heri Huru. Nice. Anyhow, I want us to listen to our guests here for a moment. Nafsi, we have a few guests here who are going to share their own perspectives about the proverb that we discussed, and also they're going to share some comments as well about our conversation. So just have a pen and paper, or just note down what they're saying, so that at the end you can share your own reflections on what they say, and then you will also share with us how we can support you. Like at the end of this show, if somebody wanted to support Nafsi Huru, what can they do? What steps can they take? So think about that, and then we'll come back to you in a moment. So you will hear more from our audience now, and I want to start with Steve, who is at the top of the room. Steve, thank you for being here. Thank you for your consistent support for the Daily African Proverbs. This conversation is being recorded for the African Father in America podcast, and I want you to introduce yourself, Steve, briefly, where you're joining us from, and what today's proverb means to you. Also, feel free to make any comments to my special guest, Nafsi Huru, today.
Hello everyone. I'm Steven, joining from Kisumu, Kenya. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Nafsi, siku mingi bana. It's been a while, and I'm happy you are our guest. You're our guest today. It's been a while since I heard about you. I believe you are doing well as well as your family.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
man.
you for this.
All is good.
Nice. Today's proverb is a nice one, and it's an eye opener to myself. And I would like to first connect my point by echoing what our speaker just mentioned about not paying wrong by wrong or paying evil by evil. And secondly, analyzing the situation before acting or retaliating to the situation. Because a man has injured your goat, do not go out and kill his bull. What I would say is that I would like to pin my point on analyzing the situation before acting and uh, thinking twice before making a decision or before taking action. The moment you'll think on the repercussion of your actions, then will influence or uh, derive what actions and steps that you are going to make. But again, I would really like to thank Simon and Stella and everyone who brought this topic for today. And thank you, our speaker, for the points that you just raised. Allow me to leave it at that. Thank you again, Simon, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate your contribution. Let's go to Brother Art. Brother Art, how are you doing today? And what are your thoughts on today's proverb from Kenya? It says, because a man has injured your goat, do not go out and kill his bull.
Peace and love, family. All is well. It's Brother Herb. I'm calling from the North Carolina territory. And honest to you, Simon, and all the family online sharing the wisdom. And one thing that stuck with me that your special guest said is, in the music he makes, uh, he tries to put messages in the music to guys, the youth who might not necessarily have no parents or don't have any guys in their life. And just the same as he does that with the music, the ancestors brought forth these proverbs to be of guidance and assistance to us as well in our everyday endeavors. And for you to, bring this forth, I think it was perfect timing. And when I look at the proverb, and pretty much like Stephen was saying, it's an old saying, two wrongs don't make a right. And then, or you can look at it as, don't be eye for an eye. And it's an old saying, whenever
African father in America.
everybody end up lying, what good is that? And it also makes me think and reflect. Me and my daughter mother often go back and forth, right? And in conversations, she would always say, "I match people energy. I match people energy. The type of energy you bring to me, that's the type of energy that I'm gonna give you." And I used to oftentimes tell her, it ain't necessarily about matching energy. It's about treating people how you wanted to be treated. And in the Moorish Holy Quran, it teaches us, blessed are the pure in heart, for they love and do not expect love in return. And what I learned and what I used to often tell her about matching people's energy is that's being what they call tit for tat. Every time somebody go tit, you go tat. And being whenever you being tit for tat with somebody, if they operating on a low vibration, it'll cause you to operate on a low vibration as well. And I told her, it's about keeping your vibration high regardless of where the other person's vibration is. And I park my plane right there. But peace and love, and much love to the family for all the wisdom. Peace.
Peace to you, Brother Earth. I love, everything you had to say and your contribution as well. Welcome to each and every one of you who is with us on Clubhouse, and also each and every one of you with us on YouTube. This is the Daily African Proverbs. It's being recorded for the African Father in America podcast, which is available across all podcasting platforms as well as YouTube. You should subscribe to the YouTube channel through the link at the top of the room. I want to give a shout out to David Wayne, who is joining us on YouTube, and also everyone else who is with us on YouTube. Comment, let me know where you're joining us from so that I can give you a quick shout out in the course of our session, which is ending in about another half an hour. Currently, we are listening to perspectives of our guests, but we had a special guest that I have been interviewing today. His name is Nafsi Huru. He's an incredible artist, activist, poet, a radio host, published writer on a Kenyan newsletter, on a Kenyan newspaper, one of the top 3 Kenyan newspapers, the People's Daily. And he dropped off. I think he has to pay attention to one of his children that was with him on the show for a moment, as you all saw. But I want to continue on by listening to our special guests. Here I see Bibi, I see Stella, I see Crystal, Rushi, and Peter. We'll hear from you, Bibi, your perspectives on this Kenyan proverb. And it says, because a man has injured your goat, do not go out and kill his bull. Share with us your thoughts. And also where you're joining us from and how you're doing.
Thank you so much, Simon. How are you feeling now?
I'm doing much better, actually. Much better.
That's wonderful. And how's everyone? I hope you're good. It's morning right now. It's 8:40 a.m. and I'm in Tennessee right now, actually, back home. The past few weeks we've been on the road, just driving through Midwest, visiting families and friends and attending weddings. It's been good. And then the whole of last week, I've just been popping in and out and just listening because I was hurting, and when you hurt, you hurt people. So I chose not to get on stage or speak anything in any of the rooms because I was hurting and I just needed to gain some comfort and strength here and there. But I'm okay now. And this proverb today, he actually hits the nail on parenting, especially when you're raising a teenager. And as we all know, we've been teenagers once, and when you become a parent and raising teenagers, it's like, oh my goodness, you start seeing things differently, and you also gain new wisdoms daily as you parent. And I feel like the proverb really is much needed, especially in the parenting department. It's for us not to take some things too seriously or too much over the board, or highlight the simple things and just take it to a whole another level. And having mind control, self-control, it's a big part in that. For example, my son went to go visit my brother. They do this every other year because it's like it's a tradition for us back home. Whenever we have children and we have siblings, it's important to take to send our children to go spend like some holidays with our brothers or sisters, so that way they can get different perspectives from the siblings as well. So we carry that tradition here as well, So my son, for the first time, he flew by himself to go meet them in Orlando so they can go to Disney World. And he was supposed to call me as soon as he lands, and he meets up with my sister-in-law. That way, I know that he's safe and sound, and he's reached there pretty much. But my son, he didn't. He didn't call me immediately, and he actually, until now, he still hasn't called me because I guess he got scared that I'm angry, and I was mad at first, but yesterday, it took him to let me know 2 hours after he has landed because when he met up with my sister-in-law, my little brother, who's same age as him, they got all excited and they didn't think that they should have reached out to me to let me know that he's safe and sound. And I already knew he already landed because, of course, thanks to technology, we're able to see everything online now. And I spoke to my sister-in-law before she got there to meet him. And then she told me, okay, we're going to go meet Francis now. I'll call you as soon as I get him. And she never did. And then 2 hours later, both of them sent me a text at the same time. I had already um like went to sleep because I really passed out. I was so tired, waiting anxiously, and I was so fumed, but I'm glad I went and slept. And when I woke up, I found their text messages that they apologized, that they didn't send me a text or call me immediately. But it's like it took me a deep, deep and long time to not respond immediately. And I felt like I needed that self-control because if I had said something immediately or called them immediately, the things that came out of my mouth wouldn't have been so beautiful or positive. So I just took took in deep breaths and swallowed my pride and just like slept on it. Like it gave me, by doing that, I was able to like breathe in better and just try to not take it to a big level. And now, I mean, then yesterday he finally called my husband and he explained to him. And I also listened to some of my friends who parent their teenagers, and they told me not to, just to let him relax because he's on vacation and he's excited and he's well, to just let him enjoy his moment, and when he comes back, I can talk to him but in a different light. So I know it's quite too long. I took forever, but I just wanted to share that and just say I appreciate this proverb and these rooms because you learn new things every day and you gain new perspectives every day as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, baby. I love the story you shared with us, and I also love how you didn't plan to sleep, but you fell asleep, and it helped you face the situation from a different place, emotionally, but also it's just for me it's interesting to learn to learn how to deal with a similar situation in the future, because really when our loved ones travel, we always want to at least be well informed and well aware of what's going on in real time. I want to continue on to Stella. Stella, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what are your perspectives on the proverb? And any comments on what Nafsi and I have been talking about?
Thank you, Simon. Hello, everyone. This is Stella from Kenya, and I'm glad I joined this conversation today. I want to agree with what everyone has said. Everyone was spoken before me, and I really love what everyone has said. And I got interested in what Bibi was saying about parenting, and I think parenting can really test you, and I think it's the toughest job in the world. Out of everything I've done since I knew myself, I think parenting is the hardest. Uh, and I can really relate to what Bibi is talking about, though in a different way. When it comes to disciplining children, and yesterday something funny happened. My children were playing outside, and it had gotten late, a little late, and I told them to come inside, but they just wanted to keep playing because their friends were out playing. So I decided to just relax and sit and see what they'll do and see if they'll just remember to come inside. But they kept playing and playing and playing. Then finally, when they decided to come inside, the young one who is like 4 years old, he came with a kiboko, a kiboko, a stick. And that was so funny to me because I've never like really used one on him. So I was wondering why he came with it. Because he came straight to me and gave me the kiboko. So I was like, is he trying to tell me that if you want to cane us, if you, you can do whatever you want. So it was really, I don't know, it was interesting at the same time. It got me thinking, and it got me wondering what they think of me in terms of disciplining them. But anyway, I think it's the hardest thing to do in the world. On today's proverb, uh, just like I said, I agree with what everyone has said. And I also want to relate it to jealousy, because sometimes you find that people get so jealous of what they don't even know. Like you see someone have something that you don't have, and you wish you had it, and then you try to do stuff to get it, yet you don't know how this person got there, and then you end up getting into, like, it's like you're digging a hole for yourself, and then it ends up burying you. So I think the proverb is just warning us to really be cautious and really control ourselves in every aspect. Otherwise, thank you, and I'm happy to be
Yeah, you're most welcome, Stella. I agree. I agree with everything you said. The story you shared with us is really, really incredible. We should discuss that another day and talk more about it. But it just reminds me of, if you're willing to die for something, it doesn't matter. What other people have to say about it. That's why that boy or girl was like, okay, let's play as much as we can and then take this kiboko so that we are spanked, for playing. Anyway, so I want to move on to Crystal. Thank you for being here and thank you for your continued support. Share with us your perspectives as well. When you think about this Kenyan proverb that says, because a man has injured your goat, do not go out and kill his bull. What comes to your mind?
Hey, good morning, Simon. Good morning, everyone. Yes, this is Crystal speaking. So, I've been thinking a lot. I think this is just very resonating of how I overall deal with people. I think that conflict is inevitable throughout relationships, and it's really interesting how people tend to navigate that, especially when we talk about returning the same energy. I think I heard that was mentioned earlier by brother, like matching people's energy, or uh, this intent to send back the energy that you feel that you're receiving. And what I found much more empowering is transmuting that energy. Like even if there is harm coming my way, I wouldn't want to cause harm on someone else, because these are the types of energies that kind of manifest in people, and it doesn't really go anywhere. If we end up, now sometimes I can get distracted in operating in that way. Like I don't always fall in line with that, but that is the goal, and that helps me keep my sense of grounding. Because when you do something similar to like the proverb, like if you are trying to meet someone in a frequency that isn't your natural state, it takes you out of body. And it's very exhausting to try and find yourself and come back to your own natural state of being when you come out of body. And is it really worth it? So I think about transmuting that energy and like, okay, if there is something, some type of ill will that comes my way, how can I alchemize that for my healing and my betterment? And if that is energy that someone else is putting out there, hopefully they find a way to get to a space where they don't even want to send negative energy towards other people or ill will towards other people. But ultimately, the goal is to preserve my grounding and my natural state, because if my goal is to expand, I can't be out here getting out of body and trying to return or match other people's energy that isn't mine. So yeah, just walking in that, and that's what this proverb is reminding me of. I'm done speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I love that. I can't wait to hear, Nafsi's reflections on your thoughts and also everyone's contributions. Let's go to Rushi and then come back to Nafsi, who is our special guest today. Rushi, how are you? And what are your perspective on today's conversation?
Hey, Simon. I'm doing well today. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina today, back home, just chilling with my family. This proverb to me speaks about what we do in the face of hurt, because, hurt people for one, and what we do when retaliation is a thought in our minds. So I think that's what the proverb speaks to with me. I think this proverb reminds me of when I was younger, when I was a kid. I used to stay at my grandmother's house during the summer times, and she lived in a very rural area. And next to my grandmother was her son lived right next door, which was my uncle, and he had a group of geese that he tended to, that he raised. And I remember one night I heard these geese just yelling and screaming all night. And when we woke up, we saw that one of the geese was attacked by a raccoon. So this raccoon killed this geese. It took it from my uncle. My uncle was so upset. He came outside. He tried to shoot the raccoon, but the raccoon got away. However, this sent my uncle on a tirade with raccoons. He started hunting raccoons ferociously for the next month or so. I think every day he must have ate raccoon meat, which I don't eat that type of stuff, but every day he ate raccoon meat, I guess, for a month. So that's what I guess from I think he just drove the raccoons out of extinction around his house. So it made me think of that. Like, how do we handle when someone inflicts pain on our property, on our livestock, on something we have of value? Do we go and inflict the same amount or greater amount of damage to someone else's property or value? So that's what it speaks to me, what we do, how we handle damage to ourselves. But that's all I have today. But it's a great proverb. It's definitely a proverb that I'm going to keep with me when I feel that I am attacked or my property is attacked. How do I handle it?
Right.
So that's all I have.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for your contribution. I see that Peter Oraya is back with us, so we'll just hear your own perspectives, Peter, on today's proverb, and then we'll go to our special guest who is going to close us out in just a moment. We are here for the Daily African Proverbs. For everyone who is joining us for the first time, I truly appreciate your time and just your presence. Every day we gather here Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we come with an African proverb. Most of the time we invite guests, special guests who join me on YouTube. As we speak, Nafsi Huru is my guest. He's with me on YouTube, and we are streaming this conversation into Clubhouse. Our conversation is grounded on a Kenyan proverb. The proverb says, because a man has injured your goat, do not go out and kill his bull. Peter, what does this proverb remind you about?
Thank you very much, Simon. This proverb actually is very deep. It just shows you how you react to stuff and how you manage anger. So one of the things that I understand from it is, number one is it's not what happens to you that matters, it's how you react to it. So if someone hurts your goat, it's not actually your goat getting hurt, it's just how you react to it. Some people react by going and killing their bulls, the other person's bulls, but your reaction really is the main cause of the next events. And it cautions you in how you react to stuff. Some things actually might not need to a reaction, and how you're going to react to it, how you're going to handle the situation, is going to cause the next actions that are going to be put in place. The second thing that it actually reveals to me is anger, basically what causes it. And yeah, I think one of it is when we are hurt, we get angry, and sometimes we want revenge. But just understand it. It comes out because for many reasons it was just a mistake. Maybe it was an accident. So you have to understand, and anger comes with a lot of, I think, ignorance or something like lack of information, because it's a reactionary thing, and if you know how to react to stuff, I think it can caution you on how to deal with the situation. Thank you very much, Simon.
Thank you so much, my brother Peter, for your contribution and words of wisdom. I see that we have special guests who have joined us in the room, from Kay Ways to Rose, Blandina, and of course Kay and Doug and Debbie. Debbie is actually our guest tomorrow. We have an incredible conversation that is coming up tomorrow with Debbie Berlin, who is in the audience chamber on Clubhouse. But I want to come to my guest today, Nafsi Uru. Nafsi, you heard everything that our friends who have been contributing shared. What are your reflections, and also how can we support you?
I concur with everyone. I think from the tip of parenting,
Nafsi, get close to your mic a bit and just push the headphone cable all the way in, so that.
now better now.
Oh, it's so perfect. Okay, Nafsi, it's actually worse.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Now?
Try to take off the. Can you do it without the headphones? Let's try that for a moment. Let's see if that works better.
It's better that way.
Oh, it's so good. We should have done it the whole time this way. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I think like everyone is correct, and I accept I like the point about parenting. I think it really reflects, the proverb really reflects on parenting. As a parent, you should not be quick to react to your kids' behavior without taking time to see how to do it. I have a neighbor who was recently sued, or she was taken to the children's rights for beating up a kid, and then later came to find out that the thing that the kid was being accused of was not even true. So you see, she had slaughtered the bull, and then she was in more bullshit, and she couldn't avoid that because just she couldn't manage her temper. The other thing about jealousy, I also think it's true. I think um, envy is not something nice, and it does more destruction to you than to the person you're envious of. And I like the point that someone's raised the point about hurt people, and that's really true. When you're hurt, it's like you want to bring people down to the way you feel. So you without reasoning, you just act and do a lot of irrational things, and you hurt people in the long run. But when you take time to sit and do some self-reflection, you can see that there is no really big deal out of whatever it is that happened. So yeah, that's my summarization of the points you guys raised, and thank you for being here with us as well. So those of you who don't know me, I'm a Swahili hip hop artist based in Nairobi, Kenya. I work with the band. I do music. I have an upcoming album dropping soon. I think when it's I've been telling Simon this for almost a year, because it takes a lot of energy and dedication and devotion, a lot of logistics behind putting it out. So I've finished everything. I'm waiting for the elections in Kenya to pass. Then after the elections, I can drop the album. We are supposed to do some work with Simon as well with regards to the album. So when it's out, maybe Simon can raise awareness. And if you just get a copy for yourself as a souvenir, as a gift for someone, it will be really nice. So you get a taste of Kenyan music and what Swazi pop is all about. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can also be supporting our show. We have a radio show on Icon Radio every Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. around this time. So I think in the States it's 6 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah. So if you can get a listen, we give you a hookup to happening in Kenya, all the new artists, all that's dope. And we keep supporting the consciousness and the people who are really care about the good for the society. Yeah.
I love that. I love that, man.
Other than that,
No, carry on, Nafsi.
yes, sir.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I think
yeah, keep going.
that's all for now. Yeah.
Man, thank you, Nafsi, for making the time. I know that you are a busy man, and one thing you didn't share is how do you have social media links that like handles that people can use to get a hold of you immediately if they wanted to, and also talk about your column on the newspaper, and for those who are in Kenya or those who travel to Kenya, how can they read some of your articles? Where can they find them?
Yeah, I'm on all social media platforms as Nafsi Huru. The spellings are NAFSIHURU. Nafsi Huru. My column on People Daily magazine is always on page 24. So page 24, I write uprising artist. I profile the artist, so they have like any artist who's coming up. I get their story and write it in Sheng. Sheng is the slang for Kenya. That's the street language. They call it street lingo. So I'm one of the first people to have it published on national newspaper, and so we also have a column where I interview entrepreneurs. So if you're running your business, we get to discuss what it is you're doing, because a lot of small entrepreneurs don't have the budget to do like advertisement on magazine. So through that interview, I give them the platform to show the world what it is they're doing, the business. So it's supporting the upcoming entrepreneurs as well. And I also have a chat where we rank 10 new songs every week from the Kenyan musicians, especially from the hip hop scene. So that's what happens on the Tribe 43. The magazine is called Tribe 43. Yeah, so that's what happens on that platform.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you've all
The point
added.
I wanted to add earlier on was like, yeah,
Yes, add it,
the
add it.
point
Go
I wanted
ahead.
to add earlier on was the similarity of this poem with like not the similarity, the opposite is like when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So when someone slaughters your goat, you make a feast instead of going to slaughter their bull.
Yeah, you barbecue the goat together with them and talk about why
Yeah,
they
positive
yeah,
things.
I understand. That's really good. That's really good. That's a good way for us to wrap up our time together today. Nafsi, thank you again. And I didn't know a lot of the things you shared that you do. And so the reason I love podcasting is I also love interviewing people that I'm interested in. And this allows me to actually go further than if you and I were just talking about a business opportunity or the partnerships that we have, we would just focus on that. But today I feel like I traveled. I had a glimpse into who Nafsiuru is in just a beautiful way. So thank you, and also thank you to our viewers. Of course, bro. Of course. To our viewers on YouTube, thank you. Our subscription numbers are growing, and I encourage you to not only subscribe, but push the thumbs up button on this video if something in it inspired you, and also invite your friends to subscribe to this channel. And if you are on Clubhouse, remember to join the African Father in America Club and nominate 3 to 5 people to also join the club. Thank you for taking the time to join us today, from Blandina, Devi, Rushi, all the way to Steve. Thank you all so much. This is the end of our time together today. Nafsi, I'll see you soon, my brother. Peace and love.
Thank you, bro. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.